The following is a presentation of KSL Sports. First and 12. A total roundup of BYU and Utah football and the expanded Big 12 Conference. Brought to you by Macy's Grocery Stores. Your hosts are Mitch Harper and Alex Kirry on KSL News Radio and the KSL Sports Zone.
Happy Sunday, everyone. First and 12, Week 2. Mitch Harper, Alex Kirry with you here on KSL News Radio and the KSL Sports Zone, a weekly check-in on Big 12 football. BYU goes into the traditional Big 12 territory. Now it's, I guess, ACC territory in Dallas.
That's an
takes
East
down
Coast team.
SMU.
That's an East Coast team,
18-15.
Mitch. Absolutely. You knew that. Them and Stanford, just classic East Coast.
Oh, it just makes so much sense seeing SMU in the ACC. But it was a big win for the Cougars, taking down the Mustangs. And I got to say, in Gerald J. Ford Stadium, nicest visitor press conference room I've ever been in.
Wow.
And Kalani Sitake spoke to the media after the big win. And here's what he had to say.
Glad we got the win. Just really proud of the team. The way the guys stuck with it. I mean, it was a tough game. You have to give a lot of credit to SMU, Coach Lashley and his staff. I mean, they had them ready, and there's a lot of talk about the offense on both sides, and it came down to overall team win. We needed all three phases to win the game, and obviously not our best performance, but you have to give a lot of credit to SMU for what they did, and we'll have to find an answer and find a way to get more efficient in all three phases, and there's room for us to improve on all three phases. I don't want anyone to feel like they should be patting themselves on the back. This is a opportunity for us to play at our best. We didn't do that tonight, but I have to give a lot of credit to SMU. I thought they played a great game. I thought they had a good scheme, and they executed really well. We made some mistakes still, but I think you're going to hear me say that every game. But I like the way we found a way to win this game. In the past, we've been down or had turnovers, and guys hung their heads in the past, and now the guys are fighting through and not giving up. So, I mean, to get the ball back and then turn it over and then get the ball back again, that's the leadership on our defense, our staff, our coaches, and the guys' belief in each other. But you just have to go through some adversity for these guys to trust each other like that. So we'll move on to the next phase and try to make sure that our statement 3 is a little bit better than what we did in the first 2 weeks. But happy to be 2-0 right now and excited about the next move. And I'm going to learn from this and get better. And some guys got banged up, and guys were able to step in, and we felt good about our depth, and we had to go to it a little bit. So, we're going to have to see how we feel tomorrow and have an extra day to heal up. So some of those guys will need that extra time before they can get to the game next week. So any questions you guys have for me?
Working for defense tonight, hold us and do the no touchdown in this game.
I think guys are just executing the scheme. I mean, we've gone against this scheme before, but I think that we know it can be a high-powered offense, and both quarterbacks for SMU are very talented. So we just knew that we had to just keep – I mean, as long as we play assignment sound football and make it hard for them. I mean, they got some chunk yardage, and they got some yards, and we're able to advance the ball. But just allowing them to settle for field goals, I think it helped us win this game. I mean, I think early in the game we got a stop on 4th down. I'm not sure, but I think we got a stop, and then I think maybe they thought, okay, if they're going to get in field goal position, they're going to just kick it. And hats off to their kicker. My goodness, this guy was automatic, and he even kicked into the wind on some deep balls, and I was really impressed with his legs. So if we didn't know much about him before, we do now, and he was a huge weapon for them. And we missed one, and he was able to make all his kicks. Man, that was impressive.
Did you feel like you go for it on 4th down from midfield? Turned out to be a great decision.
Yeah.
Take us through why you made that decision.
Felt good about it. Just felt good about it. I didn't look at analytics and things like that. Just felt good and looked at our guys. We even took a timeout, and people wanted us to think about it a little bit more, and I just still felt good about it. I liked the look in the eyes of our guys, and they felt like they could do it, and felt confident about the call, and the way we went. It just felt right. So, and I'm glad that the offense executed it well, and we got the conversion.
Did you change the play on that timeout, or did you keep the same play that you had on before?
I think we added a little bit of it, but I think the goal was A-Rod already knew what he wanted, and I don't know if we showed it enough, but yeah, we just knew we had different ways of doing it. So we have, and just give Jake a lot of credit. He got us in the right call. We have an audibles up there, and he felt it and got the right call on.
So did you check into that play?
I'm not sure. I have to look at the film. I don't know all the details. I can't tell you everything. You guys can't know all our checks and everything. So.
You feel was good on that fourth down call by that led to Phoenix touchdown as well?
Yeah, I felt good about that too. Yeah, I mean, there's another fourth down that we kicked it. You guys are giving me a hard time about going on fourth down. We punted it on fourth down a few times, guys. So, yeah, give me some credit. We punted it still, so it did work out. I think, I mean, you can look at analytics all you want, but it's like I think you have to go with the feel of the game and your instincts a little bit, and I think you got to have both of that. So, luckily, I have good coaches that kind of give me some feedback, and I'm the overriding guy, so I'm gonna try to make the right decision.
How impressed are you with Nawahine and Davis to step in? And
Yeah, I think you asked me a question in fall camp about the running back position. I said we feel good about that group, and we feel really good about the young guys, and so we knew that we'd have something special there. And it's unfortunate that LJ had an injury that kept it. He got banged up, but I think he'll be okay. We'll see. We'll have to kind of assess it tomorrow, but it's something that was brand new that just showed up, and then same thing happened to Hinckley, and we'll have to see how it works.
Mitch, what I loved about Kalani's attitude was I listened to his comments going into the locker room, and it was like, he was seeing red, man. He was absolutely beside himself with the mistakes that they were making. We got to score the football. Like he was calling out the offense. It was just 100% calling out the offense. Defense is solid. Defense giving us chances, but the offense got to score the football. He was like yelling it, as he's walking into the
it
locker room.
looked like a blue version of Kyle Whittingham.
It was
basically
he was fired up, and the voice was higher pitched. Like he was definitely like still in that yelling mode. But you know what? When the defense got that final stand and BYU ended up winning, and they figured out they had cracked the Kevin Jennings code too. They were like, make this guy, just keep him in the pocket and make him throw the football, because if we give him even a little bit of pressure, which they did, he melted. And he did. His last 16 passes, he was 3 for 13. So they definitely had cracked that code. But you saw Kalani on the sideline. It looked like he was fan number one of this BYU team and of this BYU defense. Those are his guys, obviously, because he's a defensive coach. But man, he blew up and was just so excited, and he was so glad that his guys got it done. I know he stepped it down. He gets pretty more chilled out, by the end of when it gets to the press conference time and talks about some of these good performances. But yeah, Kalani showed up for this one on that defensive side of things, and he called out his guys, and they ended up getting the win. So congrats to Kalani. They're at 2-0 now. But they were at this point last year. That's why a lot of people feel like there were some definite vibes where it's like, yeah, you don't feel good about the offense. Lots of mistakes, but they're still at 2-0. And I guess if you look, we were looking at this matchup, and they're really staring 3-0 at the face if they can get Wyoming and Laramie next week in their out-of-conference schedule. And I think we all looked at 2-1 as being like a really good go in their out-of-conference schedule.
Alex, I could draw up a scenario where BYU could be 5-0 in September.
No, you don't do this to BYU fans.
Wyoming,
don't you give them hope,
K-State in Provo. K-State looked beatable, and then Baylor, who doesn't have an offense. I'm just saying, like, if BYU's defense shows up in every game, they've got to be the mainstay. I'm getting way ahead of myself, but I think you could draw it up potentially. I just think there's a chance because of the defense, how good that defense looked.
See, but here's how this is why this feels bad. We said this all last year. Hey, defense keeping you in games. Like, that is not the place you want to be, but yeah, you're right.
I don't feel like we did, though.
I
feel like we were on these Sundays mornings. We're like, I don't know if they can keep winning like this, guys. I don't know if this is going to work. Whereas I feel like that defense can put them in a game against anyone in this league. Yeah. Like, if that defensive performance shows up every week, they can compete for a full 60 against nearly everyone in this conference. But the offense,
right, we'll
that's
another
a whole
break here.
That's where it gets real sideways.
We'll have to see what happens because 1 week to the next, everybody's attitudes change. Mitch is already saying put in Gary Bohannon. My goodness. There's a lot going on. We got tons to break down still. And we got our sound roundup.
Sound roundup coming up
classic.
next.
We're gonna. Yeah, we got lots of stuff to jam with and to get excited about. So stay right here. More to go. Right around the corner. It is 1st and 12. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone and KSL News Radio.